You won't always feel ready. Let's start there. Because somewhere along the way, we were taught that readiness feels like confidence, like certainty, like standing on solid ground with no questions in your mind. But life doesn't always give you that. Sometimes life calls your name when your hands are still shaking, when your heart is still healing, when your mind is still trying to catch up to what your spirit already knows. And in those moments, you hesitate. You tell yourself, maybe tomorrow, maybe when I'm stronger, maybe when I understand more. But what if tomorrow is waiting on the step you refuse to take today? What if strength isn't something you arrive at, but something you build by moving forward while you still feel weak? Listen, you don't need perfect conditions to begin. The truth is, perfect conditions don't exist. There will always be noise. There will always be doubt. There will always be a reason to stay where it's safe and familiar and comfortable. But comfort has never created growth. Growth lives on the other side of uncertainty. Growth lives in the moments where you choose to move, even when you don't feel ready. And I know that's not easy, because moving forward means risking failure. It means facing fear. It means stepping into spaces where you might not feel qualified, prepared, or enough. But hear this clearly. You were never called to be perfect. You were called to be faithful. Faithful in the small things, faithful in the unseen moments, faithful when no one is watching, when no one is clapping, when it's just you and God and a quiet decision to keep going. That's where transformation begins. Not in big, dramatic leaps, but in small, consistent steps. A step when you're tired, a step when you're unsure, a step when everything in you is screaming, stop. And maybe today, that's all you have. Maybe you don't have clarity. Maybe you don't have a full plan. Maybe you don't even have confidence. But you have a step. And that step matters more than you think. Because every time you move forward, you're telling fear, you don't control me. Every time you show up, you're reminding doubt that it doesn't have the final say. Every time you try again, you're building something deeper than success. You're building resilience, you're building trust. You're building a life that isn't controlled by how you feel in the moment, but by what you know in your spirit. And your spirit knows this. You were created for more. More than staying still, more than playing small, more than waiting for permission to become who you're meant to be. So why wait? Why let fear convince you to stay in a place you've already outgrown? Why let doubt whisper lies that shrink your potential and silence your purpose? No. Today you choose differently. Today you move, not because you feel ready, but because you understand that readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. A decision to trust God, even when you don't understand. A decision to take the step, even when you don't see the full path. A decision to keep going, even when progress feels slow. Because slow progress is still progress. And small steps taken consistently will take you further than waiting forever for the perfect moment. So take the step. Even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, even if your vision feels blurry and your confidence feels small, take the step anyway. Because courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward in spite of it. And every step you take, no matter how small, is a declaration that you trust the process, that you trust the journey, that you trust the one who placed the dream inside of you. So move. Move with faith. Move with intention. Move with the quiet confidence that you don't need to have it all figured out to start becoming. Because becoming isn't a moment, it's a process. And today, your process continues. So don't wait, don't shrink, don't hold back. Take the step, and then take another, and another, until one day you look back and realize you didn't need to feel ready. You just needed to start.